What's going on, everybody? So today I want to show you all something, and it's going to involve creating in OBS. A lot of you all are having issues with either PC or HD capture cards. If you're recording in PC, for example, we're in our scene, right? When you first use OBS, if you don't know how to use it, you're going to install it. You're going to come to this screen here. You might not see this up here. This is a plugin I downloaded from their website. But right here, we're going to start. This is basically a vanilla OBS. If I wanted to add a PC source, as far as like a second monitor or something, I'm going to go to display capture. I'm going to name that PC because that's how I would capture a PC screen. And I can capture screen 1 or screen 2. In this case, I'm already using screen 2, but if I do that, it's basically going to cause an infinite loop. If I do it to 1, you're going to see probably a blank screen because I'm currently recording, which is fine. But let's just, for now, let's just go with creating a HD 60 S or S Plus or, you know, whatever Elgato product you have. We're going to go to video capture device and I'm going to name this Elgato. We're going to select OK. And it's going to ask me to choose whatever my input is. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose Game and Capture HD 60S because that is the capture card I currently use. Now you're going to notice that it's going to do this. I have it currently plugged into my Nintendo Switch. So what we want to make sure of is we're going to lock this on our screen here, right here. And it should pick up the source. I thought I turned it on. It should pick up the source. Okay, give me a minute. There we go. So sometimes you have to do that if it doesn't pick up the source. You would just go here, properties, and then you would just switch it and then come back to it. And it should ideally relaunch your game. Now, if I do this, it's picking up the audio directly from the capture card. So you're able to see the game audio. If you are, however, and I'm going to go ahead and mute this. I'm just going to leave this here. But if you are recording PC gaming, and when I say PC gaming, I mean you're literally capturing either a window capture or you're capturing your PC game and you have a dual monitor setup. As I mentioned, you would go to display capture. You would set up your second monitor for the game and capture that monitor showing your gameplay. But for now, I'm just going to leave the Nintendo Switch up just because that's the thing that's currently plugged in here. We're going to go to creating audio for PC gaming. It will not, for PC gaming, you don't need a capture card. You just need to record your desktop. You're going to do display capture because you're going to capture your first or your second display. But for the audio input, if you do not have a wave mic or use Wavelink, you're going to go to audio input capture. We're going to name this PC audio, just so that way we know it's our PC game, right? So it says default, microphone, wave, etc., right? I'm going to go with default. And the reason why is it's going to pick up on the PC. Now, if I launch a game, let's do this. I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about this, if I want to launch a game or not. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's go ahead and launch a game. So Steam is going to pop open here in a second. Oh, it's updating. Sorry. That was a little untimely there. Okay. Close. videos. So I'm going to launch a video game. I don't know. Let's go with something that's not heavy on graphics right now. Let's see. Let's go with Among Us. I'm just going to launch it. It will more than likely... Oh, I should have put it in big picture mode. Okay. So essentially it should be picking up on my PC audio. It's not. So then what I'm going to do is actually remove this. And we are going to go to... Cancel. Settings. We're going to come to settings. We're going to go to audio. It says desktop audio is disabled. This is why it wasn't doing it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, y'all. Desktop audio is PC audio. So essentially it should be picking up on my Among Us, but it's not. And I think that's because I have Wavelink running right now. Yeah, it's because I have Wavelink running. But if I close out Wavelink, then I close out my microphone. Essentially, if you come here and you enable desktop audio is going to be the PC default. And that's if you do not have a Wave 3 or a Wave 1 mic or use Wavelink. The reason why it's not working on mine is because I actually do have Wavelink and I'm using a Wave 3 mic. If you wanted to add your mic separately, you can go here, audio input capture. We're going to name this microphone. We're going to select OK. And for me, because I am using the Wavelink, we are going to select Wavelink Stream. So as I'm saying that, you can see my mic moving right here on the screen. But if I just wanted to set it up directly in the mic, I can do that and it would still come through. That means you wouldn't hear the wave mixer portion of it. But if you are a wave mic user, that's when you would come here, properties, and instead of it being just the microphone, you would come to Wavelink Stream. And everything that you're streaming through your Wavelink program will work in OBS right here. So that's pretty much how you set up for primarily doing a quick record of a video game, getting the audio input in, whether it's going to be a console, which is why I named it Elgato, or if you're doing, streaming, you can set up your mic. Or if you want commentary, you can set up your mic. Now, the other thing I was going to show you is settings. Because some people stream, and I do, PC and video games. And when we're doing that, I'm pulling up my main settings. Give me just a minute. All right, so we're going to start here with stream. My Twitch account is connected. Or if you didn't want to use Twitch, there's YouTube. There's Facebook Live, which I think is really great. Restream, and I think you can even connect to your Twitter account and stream on Twitter. I think with the Twitter account, I think it used to be Periscope, but from what I understood, Periscope was leaving, which is, pretty neat that they have it here. But you can do Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, Restream, and Twitter. I'm not sure about YouTube. I haven't set up YouTube for OBS. I don't know how the chat function works, but I do know that if you select Twitch, and I'm going to select Twitch here because mine's already automatically logged in. Now we're going to come here to output. If I want to stream in 720p, this is the format right here. I have a 2080 Ti, so my encoder is going to be NVIDIA NVEC new. I have one audio track because everything runs through the Wavelink program for me, but you may have multiple audio tracks, and that's totally fine. This is just for streaming anyways. So the bit rate that's recommended for Twitch is 6,000 kbps, which is kilobytes per second. The keyframe rate, and this is under advanced settings. If I wanted to go to simple, this is what you're going to see. But I like to be under advanced because I like to set up my keyframe rates, which is 2. And the preset I put is quality is normal. I don't put it high. Profile is high. And then I make sure that my B-frames has the GPU 0 because I only have one graphics card running it, which is going to my NVIDIA, and my B-frames too. Recording, if you're recording a video, you want to come here and make sure that your recording path is set up so that way whatever file size your video is, it's not going to, you know, I have a Mac Mini running in boot camp, so I want to make sure that it's not going to cause issues with storage on the internal. So I have it going to an external hard drive right here. This is what I was talking about with the audio tracks. So for me, I only have one audio track that I need to record. If I wanted to record different audio tracks, I could. And I will show you that here in a minute as far as what they mean by these audio tracks. Encoder, it's going to be the INVEC. I can have it change if I wanted to, but I don't need to. I have here that this is being output to 720. I don't see the need to really upload in 1080 or 4K or any of those things at this time. One, my computer can't handle it. Two, not everybody is streaming in 4K. Most of the time they're streaming in 1080p and they're, you know, changing the frame rates depending on what their capture card abilities are capable of doing. I don't change anything on the custom mux or settings. Again, I'm under advanced. You can go to simple, and simple is going to look like this. But I am going to go back to advanced because this is where I'm able to see my recording. Now, if I want to go to audio, I always make sure my bitrate is 160 because I had issues with the Wave 3 when I was under a different one. I think it was the 190. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was the 128 or if it was the 190 something. I had issues with it. So you want to make sure this is 160. It's preferable anyways. Replay buffer. You may or may not need it. Audio. Oh, this is what I was talking about. Sample rate. So mine was at 48. But with the wave mic, you actually want to be 48. 44.1, I think, was the one that wasn't working for me. And then desktop, default. I have it disabled because personally I use Wavelink and I don't need PC audio coming through it. I actually have it routed in Wavelink and Wavelink takes care of that for me. So when I come here, I basically set up all of my programs running through here. And that will actually show you how I have it set up. But we're not going to worry about that because we covered this in another video. So, oh yeah, I forgot. I have to move these over to the left side. Yeah, I'm a little out of sorts today. Sorry about that. But I wanted to show you all how to set up things in OBS, you know, just for a quick function. We can get more in depth here in a minute. I am going to go ahead and click out of that. And, okay, so here we go. I have my mic needs to be set up here and I want it to come to Wavelink stream. Or if you're only having one microphone, you want to do just your mic in, which for me in this case would be my Elgato Wave 3. But I'm going to go with a Wavelink stream because that's what I use. And that'll be my default mic. For me, I monitor everything through my headset. So I'm putting it under headphones, Razer Neri Game. I'm not doing it under chat. You don't want to get them confused. Chat is mainly for the, what is it? For mainly for just communicating. Like I use it for Discord and I don't want a mic coming through as a monitoring device. So I'm just going to leave that as is. If you have a headset, your headset should pull up here too. If you prefer your speakers, my Razer Noma should be here somewhere. Yeah, see, you're going to see Apple audio device. That's my Mac Mini speakers. Oh, here we go. Razer Noma Chroma. So if I wanted it to output to listen to like everything coming through, I could hear it without headphones. But personally, I always use headphones when I'm monitoring anything. And I stream with headphones for that reason. Let's go over here to video. One thing you always want to change here is your downscale filter. You want to go to Lancos, sharpen scaling. Lancos is what's preferred. You want to make sure that your FPS is at least 60 unless you're able to output more. I am not able to output more at this time. Mine is going to be output downscaled 720, but my base is 1080. So we're going to leave that as is, at least for me, because that works for me on my settings. If you wanted to set up hotkeys, you can. This is for people who don't have a Stream Deck. You can set up hotkeys. I have a Stream Deck, so I don't even play with this. For advanced, process priority, I always put it under high. Because I have an external eGPU, oh, mine was supposed to be on 709. So my color format, this is already set up in V12. My color space, most things are 709 now. I'm not sure why mine was stuck on 601. I thought it was 709, so we can update that. My color range is full because I have my Nintendo Switch enabled to full, or my consoles, when I actually do stream, they're under full as well. So recording, it tells you the format in however it is, CC, YY, month, day, hour, minutes, seconds. You can do that if you want as a file name formatting. There's the replay buffer again here. A stream delay. If I wanted to do a stream delay when I'm streaming, I could, but I'm not going to do that. I try not to have a stream delay when I'm live. You can enable it, and you can put it however much delayed you want, but your viewers will probably be like way past a conversation because you'll be ahead of them by 30 seconds or more. To automatically reconnect, I recommend enabling this, and the reason why is if you have dropped frames, and it will tell you probably here if you haven't seen it, CPU usage and stuff when you're live, it will tell you about your frames. But my retry delay is 10 seconds. My maximum retries is 20. I bind to IP address default, mainly because I run on VPN on this computer. I suffered a particular internet attack, and so now VPN router is set up, and I just have it set up this way. There is enable network optimizations and enable TC pacing. If you look, when you hover over it, it will tell you what it does. But I stick with dynamic change bitrate to manage the congestion. It seems to be pretty stable for me, so this works when I'm streaming. Sources, enable browser source hardware acceleration. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, for me, it was automatically there. It was no big deal. Hotkey focus behavior. Because I don't use hotkeys, this doesn't matter to me. But if you're a person who doesn't have a Stream Deck and you want to set up hotkeys, then you can choose which is going to apply to you. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this because we've covered that. Oh, wait, before I do, general. If you like your theme dark, you can do this. You can change it. I don't oh, here we go. I don't like that one. I like dark, but you can change the colors in OBS for those who like different things. And yeah, that's making my eyes bleed. All right, here we go. But for those who don't know how to do that, if you ever see a weird theme going on in your thing here, you just want to come back here and change your theme. You can change your language preference. I'm going to stay with English. We can automatically check for updates on startup. Outputs, you can select whatever these are going to apply, but honestly, I just leave them blank. I don't need them. Source alignment snapping, that's kind of when you're dragging and dropping here on OBS, and we'll get to that. I leave it default because it's pretty manageable. Projectors, if that applies to you. System tray, if I want this to be minimized and appear in my system tray down here. I don't, because I have chat and everything else set up on my actual OBS that I use. Let's see, preview. Hide overflow, overflow always visible, show overflow even when source is invisible. I leave this alone. Importers, search known locations for scene collections when importing. So if you have set up scenes, and I will show you how I set mine up here in my particular profile that I actually use for everything, it will automatically load it from where I've already had everything set up. If I didn't want it to search for it, I would basically have to reconfigure this all the time. So this is probably key to leave it checked mark. Studio mode, and show preview program labels, enable portrait vertical layouts, transition to scene when double clicked. I don't have these two checked marked for a reason. I don't have my monitor in vertical. And I prefer to just show the preview and program labels. Multi-view, click to switch between scenes, show scene names, and draw a safe area. So scene names, see how this says scene? That's a scene name. As far as pertaining to everything here under settings, because I showed you how to set it up for the most part, mine is configured for Twitch. I used to do a multi-stream under Restream, and it would configure the bitrate for me, and I would look it up to see what was the ideal one. But that's because I was streaming to so many different platforms at once that I had to change the bitrate. And 6,000 kbp kilobytes per second is more than enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this because I don't really need to change any of it. But when they're talking about scenes, for example, there's my profile, right? That's for Twitch. I can actually go to my personal Oh, what did I just do? Oh, yeah, duh. All right, so we'll just go back to test. Sorry, everybody. Usually I thought it was going to carry over gracefully. It did not. But when I switched to my scenes were set up. Let me just make sure. Properties, second display, cancel. If I go here, I might have to change it to the first one. Let's see, PC game, properties, and here we go. Select OK. Is it going to show? And it may or may not, because I'm basically having the one on the left record, which is why it's not doing that. But as far as scenes go, these are my sources, right? So this is my music file. You're probably going to hear that coming through. That's going to be my music file. And this is my start. So when I came here, I came to, this is pretty much where all of my stuff is. I set it up. This is where my my starting screen is. So I selected this one. Everything's already set up for me, so I'm not going to basically show you how to set everything up. But this is what I did. I can use hardware decoding when available, but I don't need to. Everything's pretty good. I have it loop because it is an animated scene. It says show nothing when playback ends. I don't want it to continue to go when the playback ends, meaning when I switch a new scene, it should load a new scene. So when I go to live, for example, live should show, for example, when I set this up, I set up my cover. So properties, and I literally have like folders named where I want things, so that way I'm able to locate them and have them load. I set up a Discord widget, so you can actually set up a browser. So you can come here. For example, my cover, I went to image to do that and named it cover. My widget, I went to browser right here. And then I named it whatever I was doing. So in this case, I named it Discord widget. And then when we do that, but we're going to start new. We're just going to name it browser for now. And so what it's going to ask you for is the URL of whatever kind of widget you're going to do, or whatever browser source you're going to add in here. You can change the width, the height, and leave it at that. But me, I don't really need this here because I have everything set up. But I'm just showing you what it's going to look like when you do it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different widgets on here that are browser widgets. The alerts are from OBS. So if we go here, it's going to, give you my alert box. We go here, it's going to give you my chat box. If I go to my public Discord widget, it will give you my, all of that stuff here. This is my webcam, so it would be under video capture device. And of course I have it named Brio, but we would come here. You can name it camera, whatever. Mine, my Logitech is going to be the default. Or if you wanted to set up the EpoCam from Elgato, so you can connect your cell phone or whatever, you can connect to it. I don't think I have my phone in here to show you how to do it, but that's how you would connect. In this case, I'm going to select cancel because I don't really need this on here. But whatever webcam you're using, that's how you'll be able to import that. So let's see, we already discussed how to set up the HD60. The reason why I don't have the audio come through is I have everything that I want hidden, and you can unhide it, but then I'd have to go in there and literally rehide everything. So these are the tracks. So you know how I showed you earlier in settings what the tracks were? You can technically reduce this to one track. Like this would be track 1. You could remove the widget from here, put it into track 2. You could remove that there. Actually, I leave it as is because I don't really need to worry about it. I only have one audio source thanks to Wavelink. So mine is good, but you can limit which item you want in what track. That way, if you needed to go in and pull a video or something, you have different tracks and you can exclude which track you don't need. All right. This is actually going to be, if we go here, it says capture method, it says display. Okay, this should actually be capture 2. If you're trying to do like a game capture, you can do that. The game capture, for example, there's some emulators and stuff that you can do. You can do that. Or if you just wanted to capture a PC game and it doesn't go full screen, you can go to window capture and then just capture that designated window. So it'll ask you, you know, what do you want to capture? But in this case, I don't need to worry about that. So we're just going to select cancel. Remove. Yes. Now I set up, you know, quite a few things. So on my intermission screen, there's quite a few things going on in here. Anytime that I have a scene outside of my live stream right here. So this is pretty much like when I'm live streaming, you're able to see this properties. I'm just going to put this as 2 and you'll just see my cover. So you won't have to see the actual like PC game kind of thing. I'm actually going to switch that off for a minute. But when I went to intermission, these are my scenes. These are my sources. The reason why I have this set up is, you know, if I have to take a break or step away or something while I'm live streaming, this will automatically play the music. It'll tell people I'll be right back. So this is the text, right? This is the text in the middle of the screen. Everything is locked, so everything's in a place that I already set it up in, but I could move the text that I created. Actually, that doesn't look bad. But I can move everything if I want to. I have a chat going. If I didn't want the chat to come through, it won't. But in this case, I'm going to show you how the chat works. That's my chat widget. So it's going to say test. And so intermission, that was the background. That's actually going to be the layout that I have set up. If I didn't have this set up where my file was, it would just look like that. But you know how I showed you the, oh wait, that was not the right one. Properties, intermission, here we go. So that's going to be my little overlay. These are what these are called, or overlay. So this is my intermission overlay. My intermission alerts is just like my regular alerts from Streamlabs. So you'll be able to copy your Streamlabs URL. Everybody's URL through Streamlabs is different. That is the only way that I've learned, that or Stream Elements, to get your alert widgets to come through. Background. So I have background number 1 right here. Forgot what I put in that. One with, oh yeah, it's alerts. So like if somebody follows or if somebody donates or something, this will pop up while I'm away. I do actually have little notifications like a dock right here for Twitch. So my chat will appear here while I'm streaming. So I have 2 monitors, right? This is OBS open in one monitor, and then my game and stuff and everything opened on the other monitor. So I'm basically able to see all of the messages that come through, but while I'm away, you all will be able to chat amongst yourself. If I wanted to, and docs are really wonderful things. If I wanted to see my stats, instead of having a, no, Nope. There we go. I don't know why I did that. That's totally, oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go. It will tell me how many viewers I have. So I don't need a viewer button on my Stream Deck. It'll tell me how many views, how many followers. So I'm able to see all of that stuff come through. The dock is a very useful tool. It'll tell me my Twitch activity feed, and it will tell you who is recently followed. And there's another one. Hold on. View, dock, stream information. So like if I wanted to update my game title and everything without having to log into Twitch all the time, I can do that here. I can do that here in this dock. And this is generally what I see every time I'm streaming to my left. And then I have another monitor to my right, which I'm actually using to show you here. With my game, whether it's PC, which is going to be under PC gaming here, or if I'm doing my console, this one will be enabled. So if I have my console, you'll see my console here. We're going to disable that for now. Let's see, and I was getting back to intermission, yeah. So I have music running in the background that's copyright free, thanks to YouTube, Facebook. They have their own, free, so you don't get a DCMA strike. If you are gonna do scenes like this, you wanna make sure that you get something that is copyright free so you don't get a strike. And that's if you're live streaming. If you are uploading videos, you still want to make sure that anything that is going to get you a copyright strike is removed from your video. YouTube is very big on mimicking music and matching it and letting you know if you have a copyright strike or not. I've had those. I've had to dispute them with the Fair Use Act because I'm not profiting from them. I'm not, running certain things and claiming that it's my own. Anyway, the reason why I have background, this one right here, is so that way you have a nice little visual. I actually got the overlays from two different places. The background that you see here is actually from VBI, which is now partnered with Elgato. And the stream that you see right here, the starting the stream, these little overlays right here, whether it's intermission, and it actually comes with alerts. These are all from nice company called, I think, Pre-Graphics. I forget what they're called. Where is it? Let me click on it real quick. Hold on. Pre-made GFX. So pre-made graphics. They have animated. They have static. Static means that it doesn't move like you see here. And this is going to be animated where it moves here. You can buy them or you can try to create your own. I am not good with animated overlays. I am good with static overlays, which is why I prefer to buy them animated ones because they're a nice little visual. This is my recent one. I'm not changing it for any while, but I do have my eye on another one that I like. But I buy them, so if you are looking for overlays and stuff like that, there are some really good companies out there. Or there's even pretty much what you're seeing right here is very similar to how Streamlabs is. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and exit out of OBS because we're going to pull up Streamlabs. Streamlabs is also very helpful. Oh, that was supposed to open to my right. Hold on, y'all. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Streamlabs to show you what I'm talking about, let's move it. Here we go. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, and I have pretty much imported everything from here in OBS to here in Streamlabs. Streamlabs already has the chat filled out for you, however you sign in. So these are the settings in Streamlabs. It'll usually pre-configure it for you. So if you connect whatever you connect here, if you pay for Prime, you can actually multi-stream without having to buy a restream package. I actually had a restream package, so I would actually do mine under custom, and I would change it to custom streaming. Or you can come here and it'll actually have the Restream IO here. Restream is really great for multi-streaming, for people who are into multi-streaming. I decided to just not multi-stream anymore because I've moved everything over to Twitch for gaming and YouTube for tutorials, how-tos, anything creative. Same thing. It's the same concept. You set up your audio, everything like that here and if you import your information from OBS, and I'll show you how to do that. Under, if I can remember it. Here we go. It's going to be here. Here we go. Import overlay file. Import widget. Okay, so import overlay file, you can do that. But I think there was another one. General. Here we go. So you can do an OBS import under general. And everything that you set up in OBS actually gets uploaded into Streamlabs Cloud, which I think is convenient, especially if you have a preference between them. And they're basically the same thing, except that OBS gives you a little more extra on certain features that OBS does not have. They're very much the same program, but also very different. Let's see. You know, my video is set up the same, my audio is set up the same, my outputs are set up the same because it all imported from OBS. But the reason why I mentioned Streamlabs is, let's just say if you ordered Prime monthly or yearly, and I'm not talking about Twitch Prime, I'm not talking about Amazon Prime, I am talking about Streamlabs Prime. It's their own little thing. So I don't want you to get confused on what Prime is. But I'm going to show y'all here. This is going to be grow your channel. It introduces you to their version of what their Prime is. We're going to move this over here because we don't need it. But if you are a Prime member with Streamlabs, instead of having to buy a specific overlay, you can actually come in here and add them. I actually bought this one from Nerd or Die. I love this one. But it was kind of busy for me and I wanted to make things a little more clean. And so, you know, I evolved my background from being a very busy background, which I happen to love because you can totally customize this, but I changed it. And there's a bunch of different, you know, categories. You can do it by game, sort by, you just added. These are the scene themes. There's widget themes and there's even tip pages. And the cool thing about Streamlabs, and I believe Stream Elements has this very same situation because Stream Elements is also like OBS, but I don't use Stream Elements. For me, that was a little more of a learning curve than Streamlabs. I started with Streamlabs from day one, and you know, thanks to Aaron suggesting it. And I prefer OBS as opposed to Streamlabs, but Streamlabs is wonderful for the features that they do have. They have their little launcher here, so it opens up in a browser. The browser's on my left right now, but it'll take you to, here we go. It will take you to, for example, this is the cloud bot. So it'll take you pretty much here. This is my alert box. So if I wanted to set up my widget, as I was telling you earlier, I would just copy this, paste it in the browser, and then my alerts would pop up on my my browser source, whether it's in Streamlabs or if it's in OBS. And Streamlabs and OBS are almost identical. It's just that one has different features than the other because it's integrated with its own product. But yeah, there's a bunch of different templates. So if you do Streamlabs monthly, I think it's like 20 a month or something, or if you're doing yearly where you pay annually, I think it's like 12 or something right now. I think they have a special going. But you can browse through all of these and then you get to install them into Streamlabs. And what it will do is it'll actually store that for you. So even if you cancel your membership or whatever with Prime, those things will still be loaded into your settings here. And I will show you because we're going to actually pop out of that and we're going to go back to here. Oh wait, that's not what I was trying to do. No, that's not what there we go. So the camera is actually going to take you back to your actual feed here. So if I wanted to, like I have it on my Mac as well. But if I wanted to open up another one, I used to have Persona and all of these other little themes, but I decided to just stick with one theme because it's easier to manage versus changing a theme for a different game. If I wanted it to be theme related to a game, I could customize it that way. I did that for a long time with Animal Crossing, but I felt it was easier to just consolidate and just have one overlay set up. And I like my setup. It's easy for me. So if I wanted to, it would do the same thing like it did in OBS, now in Streamlabs. It's virtually the same thing. So you're going to see the music here. And if I go to live, you're going to see my Wavelink. If I unmute it, you're going to see that it'll come through. I don't think it will right now because I have another program running it, which is fine. But it's showing you, you know, my capture card is set up, everything. The other cool thing is it will tell you who's followed you recently. Oh, I have a donation. Aw, thank you. I just saw that. Okay, cool. Well, you can customize this. You know, it's fairly nice to use. And I enjoy using this, but personally I do like OBS much better because I'm able to see everything the same way. And hopefully that helps you when it comes to setting up your stream. If you have any questions on how to, you know, set up a scene or something like that, there's the plus button at the bottom of scene. There's a minus button in case you made an error on the scene and you need to remove it. Same thing with the sources. You know, take your time with it. It's something that you're setting up for yourself. Enjoy. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope this video was helpful for you.